All right, let's get right into it because how we find things online is going through, well, a seismic shift. I mean, you can pretty much forget everything you thought you knew about search. There's a whole new set of rules and, more importantly, a new set of gatekeepers. So let's break down what that actually means for all of us.
We're going to start with a pretty bold statement here. This is the end of search, at least search as we've always known it. And look, this isn't just some minor update. It's a complete teardown of the old model.
You know that page, right? The 10 blue links we've been looking at for decades? Yeah, that's basically becoming a museum piece. The entire game has changed.
So what does this new world actually look like? Well, we're moving from the old way, where we did all the heavy lifting of searching, scrolling, and clicking through pages to piece together an answer. Now we're in a whole new reality. You just ask a question, and AI then pulls information from all over the web, synthesizes it, and gives you one direct answer on what people are starting to call the answer surface.
Okay, so this immediately brings up a huge question. If an AI is spitting out the answer, who's controlling the AI? It's time to meet the new gatekeepers who are now standing right between you and the information you're looking for. The framework you need to know to understand this new landscape is called GOPAM. It's an acronym, and it stands for the 5 companies that are now the dominant players in this new world of AI discovery. That's Google, OpenAI, Perplexity, Anthropic, and Microsoft. And these aren't just search engines anymore. They're entire discovery systems. And what's really interesting is how each of these giants is playing the game a little differently. You've got Google, of course, baking its AI overviews right into classic search. OpenAI is basically turning ChatGPT into a new front door for the internet. Perplexity is all about showing its work, putting citations front and center. Anthropic's Claude is acting like a high-powered research assistant. And then there's Microsoft, weaving Copilot into the very fabric of Windows and Office 365.
So this new reality, it creates a massive new problem, a concept that's being called the Great Decoupling. And what that means is there's now this growing gap between your content being seen inside an AI answer and you getting any actual traffic to your website.
And believe me, this isn't just some far-off theory. Back in March of 2024, data showed that about 18% of all Google searches were already triggering one of these AI summaries. And when that happens, something very predictable follows. People just don't click as much.
So when an AI summary shows up, of course, clicks on those traditional organic links go down. But here's the kicker, the part that's really surprising. Even clicks on the citations within the AI answer itself are lower. The AI gives you the answer, and for a lot of people, the journey just stops right there.
Now, you can look at this in 2 ways. There's the optimistic view, the glass half full take. It says this is a good thing. It forces everyone to create way higher quality, super precise, and verifiable content just to get noticed by the AI. It raises the bar for everybody and gives users a much better experience.
But the pessimistic take is just as compelling. This shift is a direct assault on a brand's lifeblood, its website traffic. It makes it so much harder to build direct relationships with your audience and, for a lot of creators and businesses, to actually monetize their content and, pay the bills. It's a fundamental threat to the way the web has worked for years.
This leaves brands with a really difficult choice, what we can think of as the 2 highways into AI answers. On the one hand, you can just let their bots crawl your site. That gives you the biggest possible reach, but you have almost no control over how your hard work is used. On the other hand, you can try to get direct partnerships or API access. This gives you way more control, but it's often exclusive, requires tough negotiations, and can be pretty expensive. It's a really tough trade-off.
So, in this brand new, really challenging landscape, what's the path forward? Well, it's pretty clear it requires a completely new strategy for a new era.
So, meet GEO, which stands for Generative Engine Optimization. This is the new playbook. It's not about just pleasing a search engine algorithm anymore. It's about strategically positioning your content so that these powerful GOPAM systems, Google, OpenAI, and the rest, actually select it, cite it, and most importantly, trust it as an authoritative source.
So how do you actually do that? The Geo playbook really has 3 core parts. First, you've got to master the technical stuff. Make your site super easy for AI bots to read and understand. Second, you have to build a real strategy for data feeds and partnerships. And third, and this part is absolutely key, you have to design your content to be answer-ready. Think of it like creating concise, perfectly citable paragraphs or answer cards that just nail a user's question directly. All of this leads to a complete rethinking of what success even looks like.
I mean, the old metrics we used to obsess over, they're becoming obsolete. It's time for the new rules of visibility.
For years, the Holy Grail was ranking #1 on Google, right? That's not the prize anymore. The metrics that really matter now are totally different. Things like, are you even being included in AI answers at all? What's your share of citations versus your competitors? Are you showing up for the topics that actually trigger these AI summaries? It is a completely different scorecard.
When it comes right down to it, the crucial point is this. Visibility is no longer about being a clickable link. It's about becoming such an authoritative source that the AI systems trust you to be the definitive answer. So that really leaves one final question for you to think about. In this new world of AI answers, is your brand positioned to be the answer, or will it end up as just another link?